Hello, my name is Virgil Papa, and I am going to discuss basic employment laws for managers. Agenda: General manager responsibilities, the objective of today's briefing, basic laws every manager should know which pertain to discrimination and harassment, protective leave, compensation, safety, and employees' right for unionization. I will then summarize what we learned, and the last slide are your references. Manager responsibilities. Here is a general job description for a manager. Every manager's responsibility is to plan, direct, and oversee the operation and physical health of a business unit, division, department, or an operating unit within an organization. Basic roles of a manager include, but are not limited to, planning staffing levels, coordinate with HR with regard to recruitment, maintain employee work schedules, and promote transparent communication. Today's objective: to gain a basic understanding of employment law and its importance to the organization. All laws present are not explained in detail, only summarized. They are simply for reference. This briefing is a refresher of laws which pertain to applicants and employees. Basic laws every manager should know. For laws pertaining to discrimination and harassment, we have the Civil Rights Act, Age Discrimination in Employment Act, Immigration Reform and Control Act, Genetic Information and Non-Discrimination Act, and the Americans with Disabilities Act. For protected leave, the Family and Medical Leave Act. For compensation, the Fair Labor Standards Act. For safety, Occupational Safety and Health Act. Lastly, for an employee's right to unionize, the National Labor Relations Act. Discrimination and harassment. Civil Rights Act protects employees and applicants from discrimination against race, color, religion, and national origin. For example, sexual harassment. Age Discrimination in Employment Act, also known as ADEA, protects applicants and employees 40 years of age or older from discrimination against hiring, promotion, discharge, compensation, or terms, condition, or privilege of employment. Immigration Reform and Control Act, IRCA. It is illegal to knowingly hire unauthorized individuals to work within the United States. The IRCA established a system of verifications for authorized workers. Work visas, the agricultural work, the H-2A, and the non-agricultural work, the H-2B. Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, also known as GINA. GINA prevents employers from using genetic information in employment decisions such as hiring, firing, promotions, pay, and job assignments. An example would be, it is illegal for an employer to require an applicant or employee to answer questions about family medical history during employment-related medical exams. Finally, the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, which prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life, including jobs, schools, transportation, all public and private places that are open to the general public. Protective leave. Employees who qualify for leave are protected by the Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA. FMLA authorized leave for the following situations: a birth of his or her child, adoption, and to provide care for his or her own family's serious health condition. If the employee is a member of the Reserve Armed Forces and called to duty, he or she may be entitled to qualifying exigency leave under the FMLA. Qualifying exigency leave provides the employee with 12 work weeks of unpaid job-protected leave within a 12-month period for a qualifying exigency arising out of foreign deployment of an employee's spouse, son, daughter, or parent. For regular armed forces, covered duty pertains to deployment within a foreign country. For reserve components, covered duty is deployment to a foreign country under a call or order to active duty in contingency operations. Compensation and overtime. Fair Labor Standards Act establishes minimum wage and overtime pay, employee record keeping, and child labor standards. Must pay $7.25 per hour for covered non-exempt workers minimum wage. The FLSA defines the 40-hour work week. For every hour worked above 40 hours, must pay time and a half standard pay. With regard to record keeping, there are no limits to total hours worked. Only stipulation is the employee must be 16 years or older. The total hours include all the time the employee must be on the premise or on duty at another work prescribed by the employer or other agents. Child labor restricts the age of 14 years or older and limits hours worked and occupations such as hazardous work. For 17 or 18 years of age, he or she may work unlimited hours in any non-hazardous work environment. For age 14 and 15, he or she may only work 3 hours a day on school days and no more than 18 hours a week while school is in session. Safety. The Occupational Safety and Health Act, also known as OSHA, sets standards and inspections to ensure employers are provided safe, healthful workplaces. There are 4 federal OSHA standards: General industry, the 29 CFR 1910, construction, 29 CFR 1926, maritime, which includes shipyards, marine terminals, longshoring, the 29 CFR 1915-19, and agriculture, the 29 CFR 1928. OSHA reserves employee the right to file safety and health conditions under confidentiality. Employees' right to unionize. The National Labor Relations Act of 1935. It protects the rights of employees and employees to encourage collective bargaining and to curtail private sector labor and management practices which can harm the general welfare of workers, businesses, and the U.S. economy. Grants the right to self-organize and collective bargaining. Additionally, reserves the right to strike, picket, and appoint union representatives. Summary. As managers, it is your responsibility to promote the organizational culture in line with our mission, vision, goals, and values, simultaneously protecting employee rights and avoiding unlawful behavior. Familiarizing yourself with the laws briefed, the Civil Rights Act, Age Discrimination in Employment Act, Immigration Reform Act, Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, Americans with Disability Act, Family and Medical Leave Act, Fair Labor Standards Act, Occupational Safety and Health Act, and the National Labor Relations Act will enhance employee satisfaction and mitigate unnecessary legal violations. Lastly, here are your references, and thank you for your time.